On and greetings to another sessions of the student voice, where we make it a point to listen to very candidly opinions of what students have to say when it comes to fostering community. Today I have the honor, the pleasure of chatting with Pranathi. How are you today?
Hey Tommaso, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Always like feeling like an espresso, very energetic. Pranathi, thank you so much for taking the time. And first of all, thank you for being the big contributor that you are to our community. You know, your voice, your contribution, your thoughts, your reflections, your suggestions have been super invaluable to us, right? We have learned so much because we are doing it just for students, but with students, right? So we are building this new method, this new world where you can foster community. Speaking of which, are you ready to jump into a series of questions, Pranadi?
Yeah, more than ready.
Ah, right on. I love that answer. Pranati, we are very well aware that social isolation on campus is a real thing. Over 74% studies show that students feel socially isolated, and to fill the void, they jump into things like social media, which leads into doom scrolling and therefore depression and anxiety. Hence, making peers, building genuine relationship is a big challenge. What can you share with us about that? How real is that statistic, that research? How do you feel about that, Pranat?
Being a student myself here out in the universities is completely true what the statistics say. What I feel is that being a student, you want to go and meet everyone out there, but you can't really do it because of your inferiority complex or, what they're gonna say if I share this idea with them. And that's when people tend to switch to social media. Despite the fact that social media is a greater way to ease of communication, I would say that it only gives a surface level communication rather than deep, meaningful conversations with people where you're really going in there, talking to them, getting their perspective, and letting them know what you're feeling about it. And it often tends to endless hours of scrolling content, I would say, and not just meaningful conversations with people.
And how relevant is it for you, Pranati, to foster relationships and friendships and build up, actually have a method on how you can bridge from not knowing someone to potentially getting to know someone in a real way? Is this something that is relevant to you?
Yeah, it's completely relevant to me due to the fact that I always believe in the motto of fostering real engagement rather than just passive interactions. When you're out in the real world, it's just not what content you see on social media, whether you're liking it or sharing it with someone around you. It all comes to that point where you go speak to a real person out there, share your idea, and get to know if that person is really liking it or not, rather than just putting it in your mind and thinking to yourself that maybe if I go out into that world, people are not gonna like my idea. I don't know, they
Okay.
might hate me. Yeah.
Oh wow, this is huge what you're saying. So you're saying on one hand, it's you're saying going out. So the importance truly of the physical act of actually going the extra mile, and eventually in the real world, and in that real world, then having meeting others, right? And also you mentioned that social media is more an individualistic act of you observing something, and actually, in the previous sentence, you was also sharing that you have reflections and almost thoughtful consideration, if at all, you should be sharing something because other people could attack you, right? So these are all aspects that are very nuanced, and thank you for sharing that. Now, you have been part of digital and the vyry application in our truly in the space of collaborative co-creation, meaning where we together, right, try to understand what is the future next generation, what needs does the what has the next generation, how can a physical digital interaction look like, how can we build a novel way for you guys to bond with others, right? And maybe in a playful way, in a meaningful way, right? So now that you have an initial understanding about the vyry, the application, right? And I know that you have been co-creating digital graffitis. You have been involved in signaling and meaning in digitalizing real world assets, making it available to
Yeah.
others. Why do you think that these activities might change the path towards building and fostering community?
Firstly, the idea of Vivary of co-creating physical and digital dimensions is a top-notch one. And also when Vivary says we are combining digital and physical worlds, it truly does. You just say a basic example of you're walking on campus, you see a cute little cat going that way, just take a picture of it and you want to share it with someone around you. What if Vivery is the platform for you? You just share that cute little picture of a cat, and someone else is doing their online shopping and they find a cute little dress. You just send your both pictures in, and you have a cute little dress for your cat, which you have not even thought of when you first saw there. So what I want to say is that interacting through Vivery feels more connected and personal than going out there and liking content on social media. So that's one fact about Vivery that I like the most, where you can go out there, you just don't need to think, you're not scared about the fact that what my picture might go there and if they're gonna like it or not. Through Vividity, you're just sharing your ideas, collaborating with other like-minded people and making changes happen.
Um, Tell me about the collaboration, right? So, the last 25 years, we have been kind of molded. I was about to say forced, but there was only one option on social media where you were individualistically sharing, commenting, and liking, right? So it was all about I do, I like, I share, I comment, right? Now you keep on mentioning that Viri is collaborative. You are aware about the ability to do quests with other like-minded peers on campus, right? Why do you think that the act of collaboration through quests might shape a behavior of friendship, of engagement, of interaction, or maybe even of meaningfulness? What can you share with the audience about that, Pranathi?
Yeah, when we say this, for a student in a campus life is not just about taking classes and getting out to your dorm room. It's just not that. You should actively engage in collaborations with other people. It's due to the fact that if, let's say, you have an idea of creating a motor or stuff like that, if there is someone else who can add on to that point and say this modifications to your physical layout will make it more efficient in real world applications, that's a great thing. Just having your idea is okay with you, but adding on to others idea to it would make the change even smarter and happening. Through Vivity, this will make every aspect of the fact which I was mentioning possible.
And how do you think that a future could look like where we recreate physical digital hangouts on campus, or that become an environment for you to playfully engage? Give me a projection, a future backs view on how you think of that.
I would say it would turn ordinary spaces into dynamic experiences, allowing for real life collaborations and maybe hidden discoveries and deeper connections with people and places around me. I mean, through Vivity, it's just a immersive creative platform where you can make real life things even more interesting and
I love
interactive.
that sentence. I never heard it. So, Viri allows you to make real life things more interesting and interactive. Pranati, wow, that is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. Yeah, so maybe the last two questions before I'll let you go, right? You have gone through our manifesto. You are aware of our beliefs. The beliefs are very simple. We believe that there is a next generation that has new needs, and those new needs are no longer fulfilled by the current ways that the digital, social, or even the gaming industry is fulfilling it, right? Because it's maybe not bespoke enough. It's not really building towards a genuine connection. So we do believe that there is there is a need of building from scratch, from the bottom up, a new way of collaboration, and that new way of collaboration is physical digital. So you go outside. So you have the best of both worlds. You have the physical, you have the digital world, right? It's not individualistic, but it's with, it's something that you do as an act with others together, right? And that you are the one who owns also the data. Like what aspects do you feel the most connected with when it comes to our values that digital slash vyry represents, Pranathi?
There are two main aspects of Vivre's manifesto that I like the most, starting with the fact or the idea of creating and collaborating both real worlds or the physical worlds with the digital worlds. And the second thing which I love the most is your own idea. You can own the data that you present out there. Those two are the main facts that I like the most about Vivri. And I also would like to say how Vivri is different from other social medias is that other social medias will let you compare and will give you unrealistic portrayals of
Mm,
life. But through Vivri, whatever it's you are feeling, you're putting it out
mm.
there. So those are the things that I like the most about
Thank you
Vivri's
so much,
collaborational
Pranati. Thank you
manifesto.
so much. Are you ready for the last question, Pranati? All right,
Sure.
on. Imagine your maybe younger siblings or parents, grandma ask you, "Hey, Pranati, I know that are collaborating with that company over there in the Bay Silicon Valley Bay Area. What are you guys doing? What is it? How would you explain it to someone that is not in tech or maybe a peer? So how would you explain what Beery is?
It's just as simple as how my parents and grandparents would use to give me bedtime stories when I was a kid, saying there was a jungle, there was a cat, there was a lion, just the same way. But since the generation is moving fast, making making them into game like interactive structures because nowadays kids want it more interactive and they like to see the graphics part of it. It's just the bedtime stories part which we used to have, just moving it a step ahead and making them available through all the graphics and digital world available to us now.
Oh, beautiful. So, in my translation, what you're saying right now is bedtime stories. I mean, there is a narrative, right? In the narrative, there are specific actors, right? And these actors are actors that you're now starting creating, right? And you're starting making them part of your surroundings, and that becomes exactly the opportunity then for you to meet with others. Again, we're doing just for students, but with students, we believe that there is a need to foster a community in a novel way. Pranati, thank you so much. That's the reason why we wake up and we do what we do. We really love it. Your feedback, your reflections are super super valuable for us. How about we high five digitally right now? Three, two, one, boom. All right. Thank you so much, Pranati. I'll see you around, and definitely I'll see you in the Viri world where you can, yeah, discover the unimaginable, right, and meet like-minded peers. Thank you so.